Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. Hopefully you guys are doing great. As you can see, we've been pumping, very much so, which it's nice, I guess, but now we're looking for a definitive point to where we say, okay, let's not do this anymore. Let's go on the opposite side, and let's try find a short position. So now, first sort of point we want to look for resistance wise is sort of this area here, which we are slowly coming to. It's about what, the 17,300, I guess. 17,300 looking like an area where we might sort of go into and reject, but generally it's a very sort of large area that we sort of attribute to it. There we go. So it pushes out very high. We want to see where that will potentially go into. Say, as soon as we hit into it, we're gonna push down. We can go over what happened on Friday, I guess, like we always do, and from there maybe do something better. Again, any sort of coin recommendations or whatever, not even coins, any sort of things you want charted, just give it a shout. Happy to do that. So we talked about on Friday how we're looking for this to eat up into this and potentially short sort of this high here. But as you can see, it just sort of found a ledge, pushed the high, then pushed the high again, then sort of went sideways the whole week. Got very weird behavior, but it's just something that you gotta deal with. Sometimes it happens. So in this instance, you probably maybe entered short a bit early, got taken out here. It's just you never re-enter again until you see something that is worth shorting. And nothing has been worth shorting since, I guess you could say, just due to the fact that there's a lack of, what do you call it, lack of like very good bars, or just a lack of just volume being in the correct place. But nevertheless, there was sort of very much sort of little sort of reason to short after that sort of New York high took over. We can see they closed that 4 hour sort of gap here, the candle. I mean, they're very nice, and we got one here. I mean, first we're looking for this in terms of intraday, see if we can rebound into this and come lower, maybe even close all the way down here. I think, I know that sounds very deep, but that would be sort of the nicest sort of thing we can do in terms of dealing with potential sort of completionary, completing like sort of structures, so we don't have to return back to this at a later point, and we can potentially clear this and go into sort of higher prices. Could be nice. We're gonna probably look at ES real quick. Let's see, I got suspended. That's what happens when you. Yeah, so we're only going to be using Trading View today because my account got suspended, which everything got suspended. Yay! And maybe we're Bookmap. Because I still haven't bothered to fix sort of what was wrong with my actual Bookmap. Say no, I'm lazy. As you can see, eating into a large bid here, but I'm not really too fussed about what that's showing. Doesn't look too sort of appealing. And just seeing this sort of large bid just present. That's why does everything want to break? I just want to use things, and it just doesn't want to do anything. It just does the opposite of what I wanted to do. I mean, looking at this, I mean, you're probably maybe getting that last extension. I mean, you could easily fade it, but I don't want to risk in terms of just saying it does something like this, or if it does something like this where they consolidate it, push it higher, or consolidate it, then give you this. Because volume wise, I know a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, they would be buying on the break of here, so this is sort of really heavy long. And now it's just trying to get people, I think, into shorts, or it's people who are selling. Just and the only people who really will buy here is when New York opens. They're pretty late onto the party, and so they just want to see, they want to sort of buy. Yeah, nothing interesting in terms of news wise. Nothing sort of major should affect it from like just a news sort of aspect. So looking at that, it's just gonna be pure sort of volume based. So we're just gonna bring out this, bring out the old Solana. Huh, that belongs in the dustbin. Looking at sort of 4 hour on the ATAS again, very impossible this area here. That's where we have some nice time spent. Again, if we revisit this top here, that's where we want to hold. So that's about what, 1700 even, and call that. Got a nice little single print here as well that we might want to backtrack for sort of bullish cases. Intraday wise, it's just coming to a point where I think it should sort of find itself. You can see how heavy sort of on these longs they were. It's just very long on the sort of, yeah, on Sunday. Then refresh the day again. They got a lot of shorts on the open of that day. Then pushed it out. Now they're trapping out longs, so they're just increasing the amount of longs on the book, and these guys are in profit, so it's no use sort of coming to them and say, oh yeah. So I mean, going under will all the way be here. Thoughts on the weather today? It's pretty shite, at least on the UK. In the UK, it says partially sunny at the bottom, and that's a lie. Sunak. God damn this Indian. So again, maybe you see them pushing a bit further, but again, like on Bookmap you saw, you have that massive bid here. Just trying to hold things here. So again, just use your sort of head. Ugh. Oh, that's why. Call this just sunny in Bournemouth. Lucky for you. It's been gloomy the last couple of days, which is annoying. It's just really. I don't know if that's what's affecting my mood, or my mood was already affected and this just made it worse. Again, just having sort of weird sort of it's not, what do I call it, mood swings? No, mood swings. It's not really mood swings, but yeah, I think it'll be mood swings, but. So still looking to surpass this massive sort of bid here. As soon as we see that sort of clear out, and I think sort of they're looking at that and just saying, yeah, that's where we want to end it. We'll see if that leads into revisiting 1700 around here, What if that leads to just smashing into these, then pulling back down? I think pulling back down for us is the bullish is a bullish nature, and is bullish in the sense that you'll be covering your bases, you're closing off stuff, we left higher points open. We should come back to it. Leaving stuff open and closing the low side will mean we can have a potential to do something like this. So I mean, even if we go up high and extend a bit higher, just to take the last sort of shorts out of the market, and we just squeeze out those shorts, we can see how where they've been going short, and we're doing this. There we go. We can see the breakdown. It's just been long, so not real too many shorts entering into the market, so not real likely to sort of squeeze further. And you can see some shorts here, but a lot of people are still willing to long, and we've got that bid all the way up 17, well, 300-ish area here where we have that dome active. That's something you're looking at and saying, ah, yeah, we're gonna hit into that. Anything other than that, there's nothing too much to say on a sort of Bitcoin. Look at Solana. Figure out exactly how fixed range shorts are. When I get my account reinstated. But how to effectively read raindrops? Yeah, sure. Let me just reactivate my account. I don't know. I don't know why this is suspended in the first place. I wasn't doing anything illegal, just account sharing. But nevertheless, someone said Solana. I mean, it looked pretty pumped. Something that you don't want to enter into. Looks like they broke into here. Points for contention. You want to sort of retest this area. Let me see if that was the reason. Oh wait. That's so weird. Ah, we can leave it for later. No, that's all good. Oh, cool, it's better now. Yeah, cool, we can go over there now. This thing's breaking. Oh. Balancer got taken out. Oh my god. Rune as well. Oh, everything's dying. What am I gonna do now? Let's see. We'll double it up. We'll do Solana. There we go. There's Solana. And we show you how effective raindrops are and how to read them. Raindrops are super easy to read. I mean, they have literature and documentations on them, and I've done it a few times. So, zooming right in, you have one half and you have two halves. So this is a daily candle, so this accounts for 12 hours, 12 hours. So it just accounts for half of each sort of actual candle session. And you can see here, it does this, and this just shows you the volume weighted average price, or VWAP, or volume average. Just the volume based way to sort of say, okay, here we had a bunch of volume on this half, here we had a bunch of volume on this half. So this is the open of that half, this is the open of this half, and this is the mean of that candle. You can see the average of that candle here. So you can see where they opened the candle, where they closed the candle, where they open the next candle, and whatnot, and so on. So you can see where the center essentially is, where you want to pay attention to. But the main thing you're looking for is just shape and structure. It's the same way you read footprint candles. But looking at Solana, you can see that on the daily at the very least. Where do you draw your lines for those raindrops? The middle? Yeah. Look, you see this? When you get both of this at parity is when you get a blue doji, and you can just do this. There you go. That's all there is to it. And then you just read it as like, oh, okay, cool. This came in first half. We got some long volume. This boom, breakout longs. Probably some more longs on this area can be read. And again, like I always say, probably because it's not like Bookmap where you can see who's buying and who's selling. So that's stuff like that. But other than that, you're just reading it as sort of volume and where trap volume is potentially. I mean, there's nothing really too much to say about Solana. We sort of maybe want to see it come back down a bit, 1400. I mean, not 14 even. Is it similar to point controls? Pretty much. I don't know why it keeps spacing out. My mind keeps going blank for some reason. I don't think today is a good day for me. Yeah, we can see yes, finally escaped the clutches of this. We'll see if they extend it a bit further. We talked about how Bitcoin has that bit of extension left, and on that sort of bid, running up into what? Just about 17, just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. But I mean, we already slammed very harshly down. You can see that they rejected that bid wall. Aggressively, they said no. And you can see they reduced some of it down from 700 to sort of 580. There we go. I still need to fix. I'm so lazy. I mean, it's nice sort of testing this right now, so it's nothing sort of too overtly sort of just bearish. If we go down like this, maybe you want to short on this, sort of, and this starts to become sort of moves we want to move away from. Like we talked about, there wasn't really any attempt at having longs, I mean shorts in the market, so there's not really any need to sort of squeeze anything out the market because there's nothing to squeeze. Now we're coming into sort of some levels here, so we'll see if we sort of recuperate, come back up, then push it down a bit later. But not really getting too much in terms of volume wise. Got a really heavy set. I mean, it's reasonably reasonable in the sense that it's a lot of selling, but mostly due to liquidations from the other side. We can zoom out now and just look at sort of bigger picture, sort of a massive red candle. See how far it goes. If it, yeah, there we go. Slowly catching on this. We'll see if it comes back and sort of gives you a point to sort of push into here, or if it continues to go down, then do this. But it's just something that ultimately we're looking for it to come a bit lower, then complete whatever it needs to do, then go back up. once it sort of gives us that, we're sort of pretty happy. We can see that ES has not done and reciprocated the same sort of thing Bitcoin has does, even though it's coming to the point where it should be considered extended. So we'll be looking at this and then, how come you're still alive? Why are you still alive? Go down. And it's just running out everything, sort of pushing up into that, and now it's slowly but surely sort of coming back down. I mean, you can see it's the wick that they're creating here, so maybe it doesn't reach here ultimately just yet. But it can. I mean, everything looks extended, even gold does to some extent. See, it came into weekly, trapped it, now it's just escaping, now it's just showing off. I mean, if things start going down this course again, people will start rushing to this, like, oh yeah, gold's winning. But I mean, again, at some stage, it does need to find itself, try and hold off and fend off this. I mean, look how sort of unbalanced this has been on the upside. I mean, maybe looking for worst case here, but generally I want to see sort of filling out of this area here, to some extent. We'll see if they close it off with everything and everything just goes down together like it did on Friday, where everything went up together. It's just creating weird sort of patterns. Map showing both of these lines. Is there any way to separate buy and sell and liquidation levels? Let's see. They have a liquidation indicator, so there's not real liquidation levels. Liquidation levels is just you just know from experience where people will get liquidated. It's just yeah, it's just you know from experience. Heat map. So I mean, this is and I went over this yesterday, I think, on the last stream, but this is just limit buys. This is market buys and market sells, so this is just limit orders. Massive order showed what, 525? Yeah, I mean, not really massive, is it? Yeah, not really too massive. There's also caught up on this. 2523. Again, it's nothing sort of too interesting. Oh, so you mean these? Oh, these are just market. So these are market sells. So it's most likely going to be liquidations that's driving the prices at this point. That's what you're gonna do. Oh, it's just someone. It's just someone trying to keep pressure down. You can see as soon as this sort of cleared it, they applied pressure onto this sort of wall. So if price does return here, they're absorbing this to try push it back down. It's the same sentiment that we gave here. Look, we said, yeah, if price can close up here, come back into here, close out this area, come down. That's all you can read from that wall here. Someone's doing this. It's just a nice point to say, okay, maybe we'd want to enter short like this, and have some sentiment to say there's potential short. But other than that, not really too fast about it. I would always recommend using Binance, not because I'm a Binance shell, but because it's got better data. Again, nothing really too interesting gonna happen happening right now. I don't mind coming out this time, but it's just where they scheduled me at. Do you guys prefer if I change the schedule up? Actually, no, I can't even at this point. Let's see. Nah, that means I have to change my whole way of thinking. Looks like I'm stuck with the schedule. Maybe if I go a bit later? No, even then, you can't do that. Maybe catch it for like Asia morning time, because I'm awake all the way up until like sort of this. I barely sleep, basically. Like well, my time, I'm probably yeah, like just catch London morning time. I would just give you. I don't know, man. 7 a.m. in the morning. You guys nice and early. It's like midnight for you guys. Because my mood's usually a bit better. Yeah, nothing sort of too interesting to say. Again, just put down what altcoins you want. Oh, there's Dot finally making it to 5. The heroic climb. Again, at resistance. Now we don't care for it no more. Don't care for it no more. Okay, ETH. It flew. Yeah, it's no surprise. 1300. We're just coming into sort of these higher points here. You got sort of 4-hour resistance. Again, this whole structure, it's ahead of the curve in terms of where Bitcoin is relative to price. So we'll see if it moves down quicker. I mean, you can see how wicky it's starting to get on these points here. We'll see how far they want to take it down in terms of moving price. I mean, it doesn't really have too much in terms of support on the sort of low side, as you can sort of see here. So I mean, it's probably going to go down with Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin still hasn't pushed any walls downwards, like from the aggressive point. Just says that this is sort of staying stagnant, other than the few that hit into that already. Look at the sort of daily Ethereum. Yeah, nothing again, nothing too interesting. Let's go into 4 hours. Nothing to write home about, nothing to say, oh yeah, Again, should slowly come down to a halt and maybe hit down into these levels down here. We'll see how far they want to take it. I mean, looks like they might, worst case or best case, hit 12.25. Nice even number. Single print here, just squeezing out. Bitcoin, yeah, it's closing down again. You saw that large sort of trap here, but we still managed to somehow have some sort of level of longs. See a lot of manipulation sort of on this sort of edge here, but again, some shorts trapped, not too much, not nothing sort of definitively give you sort of answers here. I mean, still sort of relatively sort of short here, as you can see, pretty long on this top. Again, you can see the volume sort of less than what we have up top, but generally it's sort of indecisive, where it's not fully, all this is fully short, all this is, it's mostly people re-entering into longs and trying to try their luck for some reason, and I think you're looking for them to be punished at some point. But I mean, other than that, I don't think I have really too much to say today. I mean, it's a great day. Yes, I mean, on the sort of weekend, just from Friday, just leading onwards. We're probably expecting again, see if this to go down. we're too heavy on the longs here, so people are still getting comfortable to re-enter on that long, and we're not looking to sort of try to sort of entertain that. So that's something that you want to look for and just say, okay, as long as we're sort of pulling below these areas here, if we're adding longs, we're sort of running them out at future points to say we want to go into sort of lower price, especially considering, like I say, timing wise, you're coming in just before sort of open, just before that sort of point that we do. Can you I mean, other than sort of having using sort of trend spider, yeah, there's not really any second best. Yeah, there's not really. Maybe use Atas. Like I don't know, man. Ever since I got trend spider, I've just gotten lazy. There's not really a good way to mark out levels, especially unless you do it by hand. Just do it by hand. Just say, oh, okay, look, this looks nice here. That's nice here, and so on. These are nice here. This is nice here, and just keep just doing it by hand, I guess. I mean, it's more of an art than a science, but not really too many good sort of ways to mark out levels accurately unless you either know how to do it by hand or just transparent is nice as well. I mean, you can always use VWAP. VWAP is sort of nice in terms of decent, but it's more past. It can give you sort of effective levels. I mean, yeah, it's not too hard. I mean, you can see on the day how I mark out levels. So there we go. There's a nice level there. We're looking at that. And maybe use sort of volume as well. Just mark out high volume areas. You can see there you go. New months here, just highest volume. Maybe go last month or even the year. Look, there we go. We changed that to a year. I mean, year started just here, so it's useless to even do that. But I mean, marking out there we go. We can mark out these high volume nodes and just say, oh yeah, they're nice. Then we can just go back into 15. Ah, there we go. We've got the volume here, and so on and so forth. It's just you only really care about two things. It's just volume and what time of month. It's just time. That's the only two things you care about in trading: volume and time. Everything else is just bullshit. There we go, continuation down. Still hasn't sort of closed off this sort of bar, so yeah, we're leaving that open. That's something you want to consider. The fact that we left that open could sort of spell some sort of return after squeezing out more shorts into the market. But generally, considering that they were heavy on these longs, it's still got a lot to sort of shake out of the market. So again, sentiment for today is still down, and it will be down, I guess, until I see something otherwise. Just be careful of the swing back into sort of this area. I mean, unless they just did that very feeble attempt and just called it a day, I would not really be sort of too willing to long today. Other than that, I think I'm just gonna cut it there. Like, there's no use. I'm like, my brain's already frazzled. I don't know why. It's just, I mean, it's just been very weird recently. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream, or if not, found it at least a bit informational. And other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.